Hey all. Today I want to talk a little bit about my understanding of the collective unconscious and a little bit about how it ties into all of this paranormal stuff that I've been talking about. And before we get into that, a little bit about me. I'm Kendrick Olson. I'm author of Runes for Transformation. I lived a paranormal life. I've been around disembodied entities, spirits, beings of all kinds for my entire life. They helped guide me through a lot of the stuff I teach nowadays. You know, the runes, the Norse mysticism, the Norse path, which you see the stuff behind me, as well as the calling that I've been pulled into now to teach more of the paranormal and our overlap in our world between the physical and the spiritual, how they interact, how we can connect with things, and what we do together. Now, an important part of this understanding of how our worlds connect and how they clash and collide comes from the collective unconscious, not to be confused with the collective conscious. This is a Jungian term. You know, Carl Jung developed this. I believe it was a 1916 essay called The Structure of Unconsciousness, if I remember right. Now, the way he described this collective unconscious is that it's like a part of our being, a part of human existence that underlies even our unconscious mind. So it's even before it gets to our own individuated unconscious mind. It's like shared mental concepts, you know, idealisms. We have definitely archetypes that are in there, archetypes that we see translated throughout every tradition, you know, like a sky father, earth mother, the protector, shadows. A lot of these kind of concepts that we see in every tradition that still makes it into our world today are all part of the collective unconscious mind. And what's cool about the collective unconscious mind is it really explains why different cultures all over the world have a lot of the same mythologies, have a lot of the same concepts, a lot of the same ideas. And even when we look into the modern world, we can go back and read Greek stories. We can go read ancient Chinese tales, you know, the tales of Aesop's fables. We understand these concepts, even though the languages are different, but we still understand the basic concepts because they're embedded within our collective unconscious. Now, I want to take this a little step further than what Jung does and start pairing it with our own concepts of reality. You see, the collective unconscious I consider to be the most creative source in all of the universe. When we hear people talk about religions, you know, there's God, there's the creative force, there's the creator or source. They may try to refer to some sort of an individuated, omniscient being, all powerful, all wise. And that's not quite how I see it. I see this source, this creator, is our collective unconscious. It is massively powerful. And it is our collective minds, our will together, that through experience calls the world into existence. There's some interesting parallel theories to this that comes from Robert Lanza in biocentrism, which talks about that the reason why the universe exists, why reality exists, is because we observe it. And if we weren't observing it, it wouldn't exist. It's pretty cool because the concept is the deeper we peer out into space with our telescopes, the more that space gets created because we're observing it. The deeper we peer into the quantum realms, we're creating it through our experience of it. And that really heralds just how powerfully creative the collective unconscious mind is. Let me give you kind of another silly example of how the collective unconscious mind works in my concept of it. is you're going to always find these groups of people popping up from time to time saying that the end of the world is coming. The Bible predicted it such and such a date, or this sacred religious document said that, well, we've interpreted it that it's going to be this date and time, and the appointed date and time comes and it goes. And then they go, wait, we got the calculations wrong. Nope. It's really on this time, prepare for it. Well, that date and time comes and goes. I really honestly believe that the end of the world has been happening for as long as people have actually tried to describe what the events of the end of the world look like, be it from the Christian Bible, Norse Ragnarok, or any of these other tales, these tales of the apocalypse that are going to come along. People have said, oh, here it is, the river's running red, there it is. Oh, this winter's lasting a little too long. This is it, here we go. Now, no matter how these little individual pockets of people try, as hard as they try, they're never going to bring about the end of the world. Why? Well, there's 7 billion people on this planet, and sure, maybe there may be a few 100,000 people that says, all right, here we go, the end of the world, it's tomorrow. Well, you still got those billions of other people that have a vested interest in the world continuing to exist. And so at the collective unconscious level, a vast majority of the populace doesn't want the world destroyed. So as long as we continue to exist, and as long as we continue to observe the world, it exists. So I don't believe that there's really going to ever be a big moment when the world ceases to be, as long as the vast majority of the collective of humanity wants the universe to exist. That being said, our collective unconsciousness also observes the laws of physics into existence, which means the fact that the sun is working the way that it is, that our collective unconscious may one day say that the sun will go supernova, swallowing the earth, and hopefully we've got our shit together strong enough that we made it off-world and that humanity can exist elsewhere. Okay. That is just kind of an overview of my understanding of the collective unconscious, that it is a powerfully creative force that is created from our collective universal existence. And I'm going to start building off of this in the next few videos, where we're going to start talking about egregores and tulpas and created entities and how they actually influence vast swaths of the human populace to do things, and how they influence leaders and rulers, but they're actually the creations of us. So spoiler alert, demons don't exist, but they really do, because we created them. And I just wanted to give this real quick, brief intro to the collective unconscious before we start delving deeper into paranormal awareness, developing your paranormal awareness, how you can use it to see the influence of these created entities and how they are influencing people, and how you can detect their influence upon you and resist it. Because if you don't know about it, you can't resist it. And in order to understand where these beings came from, we need to understand the nature of the collective unconscious and its massive creative potential. So with that said, feel free to drop comments and questions. This is a fascinating topic. I may actually try to do a Facebook Live on this one. I don't know. We'll see. Just stay posted if it happens, so we can get deeper into this concept of the collective unconscious. Until then, hail!